Welcome back everyone to Showbiz India, and today it is indeed my pleasure to welcome the very handsome Kunal Nayyar to Showbiz India.
Thank
It's
you.
great to see you.
Handsome. Wow,
Yeah.
I've never been introduced like that. Thank you.
Well, it's true, so you're very welcome. And Kunal, let's talk about Big Bang Theory, of course. Let's get right into it.
Yeah.
Tell me, how did you get that role, and how did you hear that you've been chosen?
I had moved to LA about 6 months before, 7 months before, and it was pilot season, and it was my first pilot season. I had just I'd gotten back from England, and I auditioned for the role. It was my first pilot I auditioned for. Everyone hates me when I tell them this story, but it was the first pilot audition I had. Went in at like 1 p.m. 4 p.m. I was with the producers. A week later, I was screen testing for CBS. A week later, I screen tested for Warner Brothers. And then, I got picked up. And I remember I began to cry, which is the truth, because it really meant a lot to me. And I had worked so hard for so many years to be able to be on a show in America, because that was my dream, to be on a sitcom. And then after that, by the way, you get the role, but then you could also get recast. The show could not get picked up. And so what has happened with me and Big Bang has been nothing short of a miracle, and I feel very humbled and blessed to be a part of it.
Absolutely, and right now we're in Hollywood where all dreams come true.
Yeah.
And your dream came true. Did you have any idea at that time that this, could become like this? 6 years and you're one of the leads?
You dream about it, but you can never, in the moment, you never say, oh yeah, this is going to be successful, because you just don't know. And in this day and age, when there's so much choice on television, audiences are very fickle. And the writer's strike had happened. We only shot 7 episodes and the writer's strike happened, so you thought, what if the show doesn't come back? You can just never tell in this town. 1 year you could be a hit, and next year you could go down, and then you could get cancelled. You just never know. And so, again, what happened to us is miraculous, and we're very lucky.
Take me back to the moment when you shot your first scene.
I was really nervous. I've done theater, I did theater my whole life, and I just graduated from graduate school, and all we did for 3 years was, acting in front of a live audience. So we shoot Big Bang in front of a live audience. So I was very comfortable in that situation. But when I look back at some of those old episodes, everything was so forced. Because the joke is on the page, and what I learned over the years is just trust the language, because the writing is so good. But when you just get on a show and you're trying to figure out your character and everything, you're really pushing to make that joke funny, So I could see myself leaning into a lot of jokes. I had a lot of tension all over my body for all of those jokes. And then as the years go on, obviously I relaxed into it. But that first scene, I remember the producers ran over and were like, okay, just doing great, just, relax everything, just smaller.
Very, very nice. You're in hiatus right now, we were talking about, and you're busier than normal. You're actually going for another shoot while you're doing a voiceover.
Yeah, I shoot a cartoon on Nickelodeon called Sanjay and Craig, which is a lot of fun. It's about a little Indian boy who has a friend who's a snake, and about their adventures, and it's amazing, and I play his father. So I'm going to go do that right now after this, and just signed a book deal with Atria to write my first book, which comes out next year, and that's going to be fun.
What is it going to be about?
It's called a memoir of my life, but it can't be a memoir when I'm like 32 years old, It
Yeah,
sounds so pretentious. No, I've had a pretty crazy life, I think, growing up in New Delhi, being a pure Delhiite, and then coming here when I was 18, and then ending up on arguably the biggest television sitcom since Friends. I think that there's been a lot of things that happened along the way that people will enjoy reading about. Like my first job in America, I was housekeeping for the university, ended up cleaning toilets. Like, it was crazy.
Really?
And, yeah, it was insane. And just the people that I've met on the aeroplane traveling back and forth from India. And when I first came here, I didn't know how to dress. And I went to the grocery store, and I just didn't realize how much choice there was in the grocery store. Like, all I wanted was milk. And there was 1% milk and 2% milk, and it's just driving me crazy, like the difference between 2% and 1% milk. And then bread, like multi-grain bread. There's like a bread called 6-grain bread, and there's a bread called 11-grain bread. Just wanted to
But that's pretty brave that you left home so early and
Yeah.
young into your career.
Yeah.
Now, what did your family think of that?
My parents have always been insanely supportive. I just said my parents have been insane. I meant insanely supportive. That's
Yes.
hilarious. They've always, from day one, they encouraged me to go to America and study, and they encouraged me to leave the country and experience a life of my own. And they've always been supportive, even when I said I wanted to become an actor. I was a junior in undergrad. I was getting my bachelor's in marketing. And I said, guys, I wanna be an actor. I want to go to graduate. I want to get a degree in acting, and I want to be a professional actor. And they were always supportive. They said, you know what, get your education. That's the most important thing. Do whatever you want. Just, don't change.
Wow, that is heartening, isn't it?
It's lovely, and to all the parents out there, just let your kids live their dreams. They'll be so much happier, and you'll be much happier too. So.
Absolutely. Now let's talk about your gorgeous wife.
Yeah.
When did you meet her?
I met her 4 years ago in New Delhi, India. There was an opening of a bar, and through mutual friends, and I was like, oh my God, she's so hot. And I was single. I just wanted her phone number. I didn't know at the time I was going to fall in love and get married, but it worked out.
So it was just like any other date. You thought she was gorgeous?
I never set out to marry an Indian girl. I never set out to date an Indian girl. That's never been. It's not like I have to date an Indian girl or marry an Indian girl. But when we met, when you meet someone from your own culture, there's a language that you don't have to speak. Like, it's an unspoken language that you have, whether it's understanding the culture or understanding Diwali or Dussehra or anything, small things like Karwa Chauth. Karwa Chauth is coming up and she's going to do the fast, which I'm like, come on, don't get, because when she gets hungry, she gets cranky. And
you're going to buy her a gift, right?
I have to buy her a gift. And so, that was really cool when I met her, because it just felt right, and it felt right. And so far, so good.
And she's moved here. How has she adjusted?
It's not easy to redefine yourself after marriage, especially in a new country, because, she was a model in India. She doesn't want to model anymore. So it's good and it's good and it's tough, I think, for her. She's happy, obviously, because we have a very good life here, but there are things she misses home. I miss home too. Yeah. So both of us miss home, but this is also our home. So
tell me about yourself, Kunal. You come across, very easygoing, and so what are some of your likes, dislikes, and if I were to ask your wife, what is the one thing about you that drives her crazy?
I know I can sometimes be very righteous about a situation. Like, if she's, let's say something just happened and she'll be talking about it, and I'll be like, well, Neha, if you give up control in life, then the good things, and she's like, will you stop preaching? I'm your wife. Like, come on, don't preach to me. Like, sometimes I can get, not that I'm a righteous person or anything, but I'll always look for like the golden moment, a lesson learned from a day out in the sun. Like, it's ridiculous. I drive myself crazy. What about, I'm an easygoing guy. I just like good people. I like people who wear their emotion on their sleeve. I like people who you see what you get, In our industry, after a certain point of success, you meet a lot of people, and a lot of people want a lot of things from you, and that's just the truth. So I try to just trust my instinct, and I cut out people very quickly if I think that they're just the kind of people I don't want to be surround myself, with. What else? I love music. I love cricket. Just produced a documentary on cricket that just screened in Mumbai 2 days ago, actually.
Really?
At the Mumbai Film Festival, yeah. So I shot a movie this summer called Dr. Cabby that comes out that Salman Khan is producing, that comes out in the spring.
I'm very busy, right? Oh my God.
I've always wanted this. Sometimes I'll get really tired and then I sit down. I'm like, why? I've always wanted this. And the opportunity can close also. So while things are good, try to spread, like I said, being an actor in this industry, things can change in a dime. So you have to be prepared. And I just try to do as much work as I can. And hopefully one day I'll just retire and play golf. And then
Good for you. Well, that's far away still. That's a long ways away. And let's talk about you giving back. You give back, and a lot of people don't know this, and we know this as Showbiz India, and we're very happy that you actually accepted our invite and are the guest of honor at our party.
Thank you.
In a couple of weeks. And, we recognize you for a lot of your philanthropic work. Tell me some of the charities that you work with.
Thank you, by the way, and I'm getting better about talking about it, because I don't usually like to talk about
But it's important because, people will follow you.
It is. I'm getting better at it. I think that, so one of the charities that we really give to is a dog adoption agency, and we really love them because we adopted a dog from them, and we love animals. And
I have an adopted dog too.
Oh, exactly. And growing up in India, you see stray dogs all the time, and I grew up in a household full of dogs. So it's called Take Me Home, and we love them. And I'm a big believer in education. And when I was at the University of Portland, and then when I was at Temple University, there were a lot of students that couldn't afford to finish college. So we started a scholarship at University of Portland that helps theater students finish their education. And then we started a scholarship at Temple University in Philadelphia that helps inner city youth in dire situations who want to go to college and who can't go to college. And so we pick those students and we pay for them to go to college for 4 years.
Fabulous, fantastic. And recently you actually donated at Sahara for women with domestic violence.
Yeah, that was great. That was, you know, I had heard about the organization and I wasn't that familiar with it, but then I became familiar with them and then I hosted one of the charity functions and I had such a good time. I said, I have to help because domestic violence in India, actually domestic violence anywhere in the world is a huge thing, but people are shyer to talk about it sometimes in New Delhi because, you know, I know people who have been through it and there's really not an infrastructure support for them.
Yeah, and you know, unfortunately, our community, you know, it's a taboo topic, but I work with Sahara and Maitri, such organizations, and it's astounding, sadly enough, how many calls they get from domestic violence happening here in our community.
Oh, exactly. It's astonishing, and to be able to give back to an organization like that it's just wonderful because I think it's an infrastructure that is needed. We need to support that infrastructure that's already in place.
Yeah. On a lighter note, and I know you're in a hurry because now you have to go shoot for another episode, what would you say is perhaps one of your favorite Big Bang Theory episodes?
Oh man, that's a really good question. It's a difficult question to answer since you've shot, I think, 140 plus. I think two or three of them come to mind. The first time I ever spoke to Penny was season 1, episode 8, after drinking a grasshopper. That was pretty cool. The Christmas episode when Penny gives Sheldon the napkin from Stephen Hawking, that was pretty amazing. Was it Stephen Hawking? Leonard Nimoy, Jesus. And then recently when I finally can speak to women without drinking alcohol, when Raj finally reaches just everything over 6 years just boils down, he just breaks down and begins to cry in Penny's arms, and he speaks to her for the first time without alcohol and can now talk to women without drinking.
Oh, that's so sweet. Okay, I know there's thousands of people who want to be in your shoes. What piece of advice would you give to the aspiring actors?
Really invest in your training. I know a lot of actors who say, if I give this look, will it look cool? If I do that, will I be a hero? Is that a hero look? Doesn't matter. Like, invest in training to be an actor because it comes from inside out, you know. And if you're invested in a scene and you're listening to the person you're doing a scene with, you're going to be a good actor. But people don't know that. It's all about how you look. I say invest in becoming the best actor you can be because everyone is really good at the top, you know.
Very good advice.
So work hard and invest in your training.
Well, thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing you on November 14th with your lovely wife.
It's going to be fun. Thank you so much.